Hello folks, this is Sula once again. You're listening to a video for Teamfight Tactics. In this game, we're going to be looking at a different kind of team composition. We're going to be looking at an assassins-based team. Assassins are often very popular. We're actually in a metagame right now in the current patch where assassins are very popular, but they tend to be champs that I don't really pick that often. I actually get kind of lucky and I managed to get one of the BF swords that was contested on the initial carousel. Generally, I don't play a lot of assassin team comps. I've mentioned this in other videos. I tend to like to play front-to-back team comps. That is, building kind of like a strong front line, and then your carries are in the back protected by those frontline tanks. And assassins just play differently than that. There's been assassins in every single set of Teamfight Tactics. I suspect that there will be in all the sets going forward. And, assassins play differently. Assassins are champions that tend to be very fragile, but deal a lot of damage. And assassins always jump to the backline at the start of combat. So they are one of the premier ways of getting access to backline carries in Teamfight Tactics and always have been. So their gameplay style is different because, as I said, they're very fragile. They're champions that can't really take a lot of damage, but they deal a lot of damage. And it's very important that they not get caught up on tanks or get crowd controlled. Now, as I said, I typically don't play assassins, but this is a normal game. I was just playing this to try to test out some different things, and I got a Shaco off of that drop. And then I get an assassin heart here for the first augment. So I was thinking this over. I was like, I got an early Shaco. I've got this assassin heart. Why don't we try to play assassins this game? Because I could use more practice at running assassin team comps. I've actually gotten kind of a hilarious lack of any assassin champions thus far. I think I've literally gotten 0 in the shop up to this point in time, and I've randomed my way into a 2-star Caitlyn, so I guess I'll play that early on. And I figure if I'm going to be running Caitlyn, I might as well run Tristana here as well to pick up the sniper bonus. But I am going to be going into assassins in this game. And I was also hoping to see, I'm actually going to sell everything because I've gotten multiple gold drops. I wanted to get up to 10 gold here. It's actually pretty hard to get up to 10 gold on 1-4, but if you've gotten a couple gold drops, you can do that. And I'm only going to get 2 items here, not 3, so that's why I'm able to do this. I get the 2 item start, which is more gold. So, alright, so what are we going to do in terms of making an assassin-based team comp? Well, obviously, I don't technically need to run any additional assassins in order to get Assassin 2. I would like to get additional ranks of Assassin if possible. Additional ranks in the Assassin trait do give you more benefits. So right now, I'm just trying to kind of buy up the board while staying over 10 gold. And I figured I could level to level 4 here, but I want to hold on to the champs that I've got on the kind of on my board here, and I want to stay over 10 gold so I can keep getting that extra income. So we'll see how this goes, and then I decided I would try to either win streak or loss streak, depending on how these initial few rounds go. So right now, Shaco is the only assassin I have in play. Of course, I get a free rank of the assassin trait, thanks to the fact that I've got that assassin heart, and I was not planning to win this round. I was thinking I was going to lose this, but Shaco actually does end up winning the round, much to my surprise, because I had 3 champs against the other player's 4 champs. And I also had to deal with the target dummies, which tend to be pretty strong in the early game. By the way, getting more Caitlyn's, I was like, no, I do not want to play Caitlyn reroll here. And I think since I won that initial round, I think I decided that I'll just go ahead and maybe look to level here. I can't remember if I leveled here or if I waited one more round. I am quite rich in terms of gold. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to just toss in the Darius for some minimal amount of front line. And in particular, I'm hoping to get another Syndicate champion so that I can play through the Syndicate trait, which will be pretty strong here in the early game. Now, I mentioned that the Assassin trait is Assassin champions always jump to the back line at the start of combat. Assassins naturally can critically strike on their abilities. Normally, you need a Jeweled Gauntlet to be able to critically strike on your abilities, but that is not the case for Assassins. They always have the ability to critically strike on their abilities, which actually makes Jeweled Gauntlet one of their worst items because they don't need it. Their abilities always critically strike. And they get extra crit chance and extra crit damage. Fortunately, Triss manages to kill 1 more unit, but my plan that I was maybe going to win streak here has backfired, and maybe I should have just looked to loss streak here. I do get a little bit more luck, though. I find Talon, so I'm going to sell the Kate and sell the Trist, and that's going to put 4 assassins in play, but I am going down to all 1-star units, so I'm not looking to be too impressed here. This board is pretty weak overall, and I'm not really expecting to win these rounds. Just to give you some numbers, and then I'm going to sell to get to 20 gold. Which means, again, I'm very rich, but my actual board is pretty poor here. So the good news is very strong economically. Bad news is my board is pretty weak. And I decide I'll hold for the minion round and see, hold for this round before I decide where I'm going to start committing my items, aside from the fact that Darius is going to get the belt. Anyway, this round not going all that great either. I think maybe if I killed the Caitlyn before she got her ult off, maybe I could have won the round, but it's a loss. Fortunately, a relatively close loss. And I'm going to be looking more to loss streak than to win streak here. Again, not a surprise because I have all 1-star champs and not a lot of items. Okay, so we will get second pick on the carousel. A choice of a number of different things here. But since I'm playing an assassin-based team comp, I think the item I most want is that the chain vest, or not chain vest, the Brawler's Glove, just because that can make Infinity Edge. No matter who I put it on, it's going to be a pretty good item because assassins innately get the ability to critically strike, so Infinity Edge is always good for them. It'll give them extra critical strike chance and extra critical strike damage. So it's just always a good item on any assassin build. Anyway, to give you some numbers here, Assassins 2 is plus 10% crit chance and plus 20% crit damage. Then that goes up to 30% crit chance and 40% crit damage at Assassins 4. And I am no longer highlighting it on the video because this is pre-recorded footage. We still do not have replays for Teamfight Tactics. But at Assassin 6, it's 50% crit chance and 60% crit damage. I definitely want to play 6 Assassins because I got the Assassin's Heart out of my first augment. That means I can get Assassin 6 in with only 5 Assassin champs. Now, as far as what I'm playing here, I did manage to get the Twitch 2-star, so I decided to put my Infinity Edge on Twitch. I think that was probably a mistake, though. I think I should have looked to put it on a different champion just because Twitch is not an especially strong assassin. He is the 1-cost assassin. I really should have tried to put this item on Katarina because she can just use these items much better. In the long run, I want my kind of premier assassin items to go on Katarina. Or, excuse me, on Akali because she is the legendary assassin. Akali is the 5-cost assassin. And her itemization is very similar to the... Katarina's itemization is very similar to Akali's itemization. So I think it would have been better to itemize Kat. Kat is also very strong in this patch. She's considered to be one of the strongest units in this current patch version. So I think it would have been better to put items on Katarina than to put them on Twitch. Just because Twitch is like just not that strong of a unit overall. He can hold these items, but now I kind of have to have him hold these items until Akali shows up, and that might be a while because Akali is a 5-cost unit and she won't appear for some time. I did find a Katarina. I think part of the reason why I didn't put the Infinity Edge on Katarina was I just hadn't found one yet, but I think I could have been a little bit more patient. It's not that hard to find Katarina, and indeed I already found one on stage 2-6, so like I said, probably not that hard to find one of these. I would definitely play something else over 5 Assassins right now. I actually don't really want to have 5 Assassins in. I'd rather have 4 Assassins than something else. In particular, I'd really like to have the Syndicate trait in. If I could find like a Zyra or, I don't know, some other kind of unit that has that. Just because Syndicate would be really nice for Darius. And I guess for Shaco as well, but mostly for Darius. If you are new to this set, what the Syndicate trait does is certain Syndicate allies are cloaked in shadows. The Syndicate unit gains 50 armor, 50 magic resist, and 20% Omni Vamp, which is they heal for 20% of all damage dealt, both physical and magic. At Syndicate 3, it's whatever Syndicate champion has the lowest percentage health, gets that extra armor, magic resist, and Omni Vamp. And then at Syndicate 5, all of your Syndicate champions get the benefit. If you go up to Syndicate 7, your whole team gets it, but it's almost never worthwhile to go up to Syndicate 7. Alright, so I've gotten more items to drop here, and I have my choice of some defensive items. None of these items are going to be especially great on Assassins. These are defensive items here. I will go ahead and grab the Zyra so I can put in Syndicate trait. You knew I was leading up to something by describing that. But as far as tank items here, I could make a Sunfire and a Zephyr. I think it's much better to make a Wormogs and a Gargoyle Stoneplate, though. In particular, the Gargoyle Stoneplate is good for Darius because he's going to be solo frontlining here. It's a little bit wonky the way he is standing there, but remember, all the Assassins will jump to the back line as soon as combat begins. So Darius will kind of be left by himself standing there in combat. I would desperately like to get him up to 2-star. He will be so much tankier if I can get him up to 2-star. But by picking up the Syndicate bonus, he should be the one taking damage. He should be the one getting that Syndicate extra armor, magic resistance, and Omni Vamp. I think that Zyra got it briefly in that fight because she got pulled into the back of the team. By the way, that that Caitlyn ult going off and killing the Twitch was a little bit sad, so this fight wasn't going to be very close, but now it is a little bit closer. Alright, come on, Darius. You got this? We see that Bloodthirster shield getting triggered. I'm like, come on. But it turns out that the Caitlyn ult basically does nothing against all the armor that Darius has, and so I do end up winning that fight, fortunately. I do not think that my board is very strong at all right now. Just to be clear, I do not think this is a very strong board. And yet somehow I have 88 health and I've won like more than half the rounds. Part of the problem for me is that I'm just not that familiar with assassin-based team comps. So I'm kind of feeling my way through this game. This is very much a learning game for me. And this is definitely not top-tier assassin play. But this being a normal game and not a ranked game, it was also kind of a friendlier, easier lobby. So I basically had room to make more mistakes. Just don't think that you can get away with a board that looks like this against tougher competition, because this board really is not very strong and definitely should not be in second place on health on stage 3-2. The other board should definitely be, like, what do I exactly have? I have a 2-star Twitch, I guess I have 4 assassins, and I have like a 1-star Darius that's itemized. Like, this is just not very good, but like you can see, I'm winning this round pretty easily, so I don't know what's going on in this lobby, but I'll take it. I mean, I'll take it if the rest of the lobby is just not going to be that strong. In any case, though, we're about to get our second augment choice. So let's see what comes out right here. One of the other rounds is taking forever, so it goes into overtime. But another player ends up going on a win streak. And someone is on 100 HP and has not lost yet. So I guess they're looking pretty strong. All right, so I've got a couple different choices here, but Ascension is not really good. Assassins do not want long, drawn-out team fights. They're basically burst damage champs. So I go ahead and take Knife's Edge, which is champions in the first 2 rows gain additional attack damage. That actually is quite good for Assassins. Remember, they're going to jump to the back lines immediately at the start of combat no matter what, so they can all stand up on the front lines. It's not really a big deal. I was playing Darius a little bit further back because you kind of want the other teams like Bruiser frontline champions to be to like walk up so that they're away from their backline carries. So by putting Darius further in the back, I kind of wanted the other team to like I said, to have their tanks walk up towards Darius and leave their carries in the backline unprotected. But I will play Darius in the second row now, so he takes advantage of Knife's Edge. And in fact, everyone's taking advantage of this other than Zyra, who is not an assassin and will not jump into the backline as the fight goes on. I was debating here between playing Katarina and playing the Blitzcrank, because Blitzcrank gives me bodyguard and also has the chance to like randomly remove somebody's carry from the start of the fight. I actually can pull them away from my assassins, which is not necessarily the best thing, but like in this fight, the Twitch and the Talon take out the Ezreal in the back lines, and that's pretty much this entire team's damage. Boy, this is a very weak board that person's playing. Kind of sad. I guess they're playing Innovator or something, but wow, that did not feel like a strong setup at all. What I really should be doing here is I should be looking to find another Twitch so I can sell Twitch and move that Infinity Edge over to Katarina, because she can just use the Infinity Edge much better. She's just a stronger champion. And I should just be looking to play through Katarina in the mid game, and then I'll stockpile additional Katarinas and then sell Kat and move the items over to Akali in the late game, unless I 3-star Katarina. But I am not looking to go for reroll Katarina. I'm looking to push levels, try to get to like level 8 or level 9, and then play Akali there. It is actually more popular to play the reroll Katarina right now, and probably better, because if you hit 3-star Katarina early on, you can just punish people super duper hard. And if I was at a higher skill level, then I'd be getting punished for running a board like this. But I can afford to be more greedy because this is not an especially strong lobby. You just get punished for being greedy the way I'm playing here as you move higher up in terms of skill. These other players have been super friendly to me. Now, I am keeping an eye on this person who has Built Different. I put a video up of Built Different a couple weeks ago. I've played it on live stream as well. Built Different is the one where you get additional health and additional attack speed for not playing traits. And right now, that person seems to have the strongest setup. So I've actually been positioning for that comp because I haven't hit them recently. Ideally, I would like to have Twitch not be in the middle of the enemy team. He kind of benefits from having a little bit more space between him and the rest of the team. So Twitch kind of jumping into open space is not bad since he's actually a ranged champion. In this fight, I needed to kill the TF, but needed to get off one more shot. And I do not think Darius 1-star is going to be able to tank this, even with the Syndicate bonus. Does not look like he's going to be able to tank this. So my modest win streak going to come to an end here. There it is. Going to happen sooner or later. So, oh well. is what it is. I do think, and like, here's another Katarina, but like, and an Echo. Ah, that's right. So Echo gets me up to 6 assassins. So at any point in time, I can take out the Blitz, and then I can play that. But I would lose Syndicate. So I think I'm gonna wait until I get up to level 7 at the end of this stage, then take out Blitz, and then go up to 6 assassins, because then I can keep Syndicate trait in, which I do think is pretty good. Note that I'm not picking up the Katarina. As I said, not looking to go for Cat reroll here, looking to push levels. Probably should just pick up the Katarina anyway, because it does not cost all that much money to do so. And hey, there's always the chance to get Katarina 3-star, which would be very strong. And then in that case, I might not need to play through Akali later on. So that's also probably a mistake. As I said, lots of room for improvement in this game. I do wish in retrospect, most of all, that I had been itemizing the Katarina and not itemizing the Twitch. This round ends up actually being surprisingly close, considering that how weak that other person is. But look at them. They're level 6, they have 10 gold. So that person is basically dead man walking, unless they hit something really soon. They're low on health, and also they have no gold. And their board did not feel very strong based on that last round. I kind of thought I'd lose more rounds. Somehow I won 4 out of 5 rounds here in Stage 3 with the board that I really don't think is too good. Like, I wasn't even playing this 2-star Katarina because I didn't... I probably should have played her over Talon here, but like I couldn't take Shaco out. If I take the Blitz out, then I'd lose the bodyguard for Darius. I don't know, take out Zyra. Maybe I should have just gone up to 6 assassins because I had the 2-star Katarina. I'm not sure. But in any case, so now we're going to look to get some additional stuff here. I see 2 tiers. That means blue buff for sure. It's very good on Akali. It's decently good on Katarina. It's certainly not bad on Katarina, but the current best in slot build does not put this on her. But I can put it on her, and she can make good use of it. The one thing is, I decide, oh, I'll probably hit Akali soon. Let's just put this on the Twitch instead. And I really do think that this was a mistake. I should have looked to... I should have just found another Twitch. Unfortunately, I've not seen another Twitch in the store, but should have sold the Twitch, put these on Katarina. She uses these items infinitely better than the Twitch does. And then I just throw another sword on Twitch too, because I know Twitch is going to get sold eventually. The problem is I've painted myself into a bit of a corner here on itemization because I really need to find an Akali so I can sell Twitch and then move the items over to Akali. Otherwise, I can't play 6 assassins. Like, if I sell Twitch right now, I can't play 6 assassins unless I find another Twitch in the store, and that's getting a little bit harder to do because you don't find the 1-cost units as much as you keep leveling up. So I've kind of painted myself into a bit of a corner here. I really should not have these items on Twitch, and by this point in time, I was really starting to regret the fact that Twitch is the one holding all my items and not Katarina. Oh well, enough on that point. So what am I looking for here in my team comp? Well, the big thing I'm trying to play into is the more Syndicate champs. Syndicate's really nice. In particular, Syndicate 5 would be great for this team comp because that gives the Syndicate bonus to all Syndicate champs, which would include Akali. So I'm looking to find Braum. Braum would give me bodyguard trait with Darius. So what I want to do is get to level 8, put in Braum, sell the Twitch, replace him with Akali, and then that gets me to, that keeps 6 assassins, and that gives me 5 syndicate, and it also picks up bodyguard trait. Then I'll also need to sell Darius, replace with another Darius, and put those items on Braum eventually, because Braum is just a much stronger champion than Darius. It's a 4-cost champion as opposed to a 2-cost. So we'll have to sell, and we'll probably have to sell and replace Darius down the road. If I could find Braum 1-star before I find Darius 2-star, I would do that, but that ends up not being a thing because we find 2-star Darius. So more realistically, Darius will hold these items for a while until I can 2-star Braum, and then when I have 2-star Braum, I'll look to sell and replace Darius, and then hopefully find another 1-star Darius to replace him. So overall, my board feeling a little bit better. I've hit some more 2-stars. I actually have a decent number of 2-stars in here, considering I haven't rolled. I've 2-starred everything except the Shaco and the Echo, and I guess I haven't 2-starred the Zyra, but she's less important to this team. Amusingly, I got that Shaco from the minion drop on like stage 1-3, and I have found no Shacos since then, which is kind of weird, but hey, whatever. This person's playing a Yordle comp, and they're very low on health already, but we kind of have to cut through this front line in order to get on the Yordles. And I'm trying to see, unfortunately Twitch decides he wants to shoot at the Vex instead of shooting at the Tristana. Would have been pretty easy to win this fight if you picked a different target, but oh well. That happens sometimes. I mean, Twitch is doing damage. He did 6,400 damage. It just feels like Akali would be carrying a lot harder with blue buff and Infinity Edge. I also have a Rod on my bench. I'm looking to make an Ionic Spark if possible. Ionic Spark is seen as Cat's other key item. right now because it debuffs the magic resistance of the units that she's using her ult nearby. And she kind of runs around the map, reducing magic resistance on all those enemies. Katarina's damage is almost entirely magical. You might think she's an assassin, probably does mostly physical damage, but nope. Almost entirely magic damage on her, and Akali's damage is mostly magic as well. I mentioned that Akali and Katarina share similar itemization, so that's one thing that's convenient. The good news is I am able to get that needlessly large rod, or not needlessly large rod, I already have a rod. I do manage to get the cloak so that I can make the Ionic Spark. Now here's the problem. Twitch is holding my items for Akali, but I can't put that on him because he's got a leftover sword. Alright, so what am I rolling for here? I'm really looking for Akali. That's the unit I most want. But I'm not going to be able to... Am I going to be able to find her? I see a Victor. So that's... Okay. Haven't found Akali. Haven't really gotten much stronger here, unfortunately. And remember, because I've kind of muffed up the itemization, I'm really in a place where I'm hurting because I haven't been able to find this assassin that's a 5-coster. So that is kind of the weakness of this setup, and it's another reason why assassins tend to be more of a reroll composition, is because if you're gonna play through Akali, you have to find her, and rolling for her at level 8 is not guaranteed. Assassins do not have a 4-cost unit. They have what, 2 2-costs and 2 3-costs. So they have Katarina and Talon at 2 cost, and then they have Echo and Shaco at 3 cost, but no 4 cost. No 4 cost at all. Here I do end up getting an augment that's really good for assassins, Smoke Bomb. It allows assassins to drop aggression when they drop below 60% health, so super duper nice for them. It's an extremely strong augment for them. Alright, so here I do find I found a Jinx here, and I was like, alright, I guess I'll just play the Jinx here. She doesn't make any trait other than Scrap, but whatever, I mean, it's Jinx, I can definitely play her. Now the sad thing is, if I'd been able to find even a 1-star Twitch, I would have just sold the Twitch and put her items on Jinx, because why the heck not? Jinx with Infinity Edge, that sounds pretty good. Even the blue buff, while not good on Jinx, would mean that she would ult earlier, but I don't have another 1-star Twitch, so I can't sell Twitch unless I drop 6 assassins, and I don't want to do that. But you can see how I've kind of gotten myself into a lot of trouble here. The way I typically play most of these games is to get to level 8 and then roll on 8 to build like kind of the core of my team composition. But you can see that doesn't really work with assassins because they don't have any 4-cost champions. And that's what you're really rolling for at level 8, is you're rolling for 4-cost champions. Like, that's kind of what you want to build. Like, if you're playing snipers, you're gonna roll for Jhin. If you're playing Arcanist, you're gonna roll for Lux. If you're playing challengers, you're gonna roll for Yone. Like, that's where you roll for kind of your key 4-cost units, is when you are at level 8. But assassins don't have the 4-cost unit. So going to level 8 and then rolling down at 8 is really good for a lot of comps, but it's just not that good for assassins. You kind of either need to push for early level 9 to find Akali, or you need to reroll at like level 6 or level 7 and try to 3-star your units like Katarina and Shaco and Echo and Talon. So I kind of have not played the pace of this lobby correctly. And as I said, I don't really play a lot of assassin comps. This is me trying to figure my way through this team. And it's a lot of learning in here. Like I said, I'm glad that this lobby is not more challenging, because I'd probably just be getting my butt kicked if this was a harder lobby. In any case, though, now I have to try to make use of these other items. And I was like, alright, I didn't find Akali, but I still have more gold to roll. Let's roll it down and see if we can have more luck finding her. It's like, alright, Akali? Well, no, but there's another Braum. That's not bad. Alright, come on. Well, we get 2-star Braum, and that is a big deal. So I will just go ahead and look to play that. So Braum now has my tank items. And I'm rolling here, and I'm rolling, and I see there's a Janna, and I was like, alright, I think I'll just play that for Scholar, and then I find a 2-star Darius, and I was like, alright, well, we didn't find Akali, and at this point, I'm probably not going to find Akali, so I think I decided at this point, I was like, alright, I probably need to start looking to go for level 9. I did manage to hit 2-star Braum, and that's a very big deal, because Braum is my tank. If you notice, the frontliners on the other team often just end up getting stuck on Braum, and that's exactly what I want. I want them to stand there and just get stuck on this guy. And I guess I just go to level 9 now and then roll for Akali there at level 9. I have 2-starred my whole board. Unfortunately, I still have this stupid 1-cost Twitch. Now I've 2-starred my whole board. I decided I'd pick up Katarina's at this point because I might need to sell Kat and replace her with Akali down the road. But I still got this stupid Twitch. I should not have put my items on the Twitch. I've been stuck with these items on Twitch the whole game. And I have the items for another Infinity Edge, so that's why I'm not making use of this Brawler's Glove. I want to make another Infinity Edge. The problem is I can't put that glove on Twitch because you can't have double Infinity Edges on champions. It's one of the very rare items that you can't double up on. Only one Infinity Edge allowed on a champion at a time. I have run afoul of that issue in other games. So when Twitch is sold, I'll get another Infinity Edge, and then I'll put that Infinity Edge on Katarina, and she'll have Infinity Edge plus... plus the Spark, plus the Death Cap, which are very good items for her. And then I'll have Infinity Edge plus Blue Buff for Akali. So, like, I've got everything all ready to go here. I just need to find one Akali, and my board will, you know, like, spike enormously in power. I just have not been able to find that Akali yet. I've literally found everything else. And, of course, I'll also take out Janna when that happens as well. So we're just kind of chilling here, like just kind of relaxing. Again, if I could find one Twitch, I would sell these items. I would sell the Twitch and move the Infinity Edge over to Katarina. But I've gotten stuck with this dumb Twitch the whole game, so it is what it is. At this point, we just go to 9 and we try to figure out what we can do from there. I am trying to keep an eye on some of these other teams. I want to reposition so that most of my assassins are kind of jumping right into the middle of their team, but Twitch ideally is positioned a little ways away because I want him to kind of stay safe as much as possible and keep DPSing. Fortunately, most of these other teams are not very strong. Like, we just annihilate this team's backline right away. Notice how long the Tom Kent survives with the Bramble Vest, though. Bramble Vest is what counters assassins. Bramble Vest prevents the extra damage from critical strikes, and assassins are all about critical strikes. Like, most of my damage is coming through the crit damage. So, yeah, Bramble Vest shuts down this team comp pretty hard. And in fact, someone grabbing a Bramble is not what I want to see. I wish there were just no Bramble on the carousel at all. There is something really nice, though, and there's a Syndicate emblem right here on the carousel, and it's on a 5+ Galio, which is also nice. So I was like, all right, I'll take that. That's going to allow me to not have to play Darius if I don't want to. I can just find Akali, and then I can play 5 Syndicate just from having Akali. And this is also 5 gold, which gets me to level 9 faster, so that's pretty nice. So what this means is now I can play a Scholar in this comp, which normally you would not play. I'll just look to play Janna, because she's pretty good. She makes Scrap and Scholar for me. And it gets me to 4 Syndicate. So now I can just sell Twitch and replace straight up with Akali. Otherwise, I was going to have to play that... Darius in order to get up to 5 Syndicate, but now I don't have to. Now I'll be able to play another unit, so it's just going to depend on what I want out there. I could, for instance, it might not be terrible to play Taric, would not be awful. He would give me a Spotlight. I actually haven't noticed where the Spotlight is on this board yet, but he could give me the Spotlight, he could give me a rank of Enchanter, that wouldn't be bad. Or it could just be some random legendary unit. Like, I could always just put in, like, Jace or something. Like, I don't know. We'll see what, as usual, we'll see what we end up finding. This is us hitting this Yordle comp again, and that fight was not especially close. One thing I do want to call out in these fights is how useful it is having the Smoke Bomb. I think that's what it's called, Smoke Bomb or Smoke Cloud augment. This is considered to be probably the best augment in the game for assassins, just because it allows them to dodge, drop enemy aggression when they drop below 60% health. It's basically Shaco's innate ability being given to every assassin on your team. So if you watch these fights, keep an eye on how the assassins, as they start to take damage, they can dash into that puff of smoke and then drop enemy aggression for like a second or two, and that allows them to keep DPSing. Again, assassins, very frail units, very high damage output, but very frail. So just something to keep in mind when you see these fights happening. It's a big reason why these fights are going so well. A combination of that and the other people's boards just not being all that amazing. All right, so we're up against a Fiora, and the fact that this person has decided to itemize Fiora is maybe a sign that their board is not that great. Fiora, at least in the current patch version of Teamfight Tactics, is not really played as a carry unit. So we ended up win streaking all through stage 5. And again, I really don't think my board was that strong. This board with no Akali 3-star, with no Katarina 3-star, with no Akali, this should not have been a board that win streaked through stage 5. But Braum was very strong. I will say that the 2-star Braum was probably the MVP of these fights. In fight after fight after fight, the enemy team just grouped up on Braum. He had the Warmogs plus the Gargoyle Stoneplate, so he was extremely tanky. He kept getting the Syndicate Armor Magic Resist bonus to be even tankier on top of that. And then enemy team groups up on Braum. Then they just kind of stand around hitting Braum while the assassins kill them. Oh, and there's finally a Twitch, but yeah, but it's kind of too late now. Now it's not worthy to sell and replace the Twitch because Now I'm just going to be able to hit Akali pretty soon. Also, the game's just about over. I have 66 health. No one else has more than, what is it? No one else has more than 14. So yeah, again, I don't really know what's been going on with these other boards, but whatever, I'll take it. I get a Deathblade there, which I'm going to put on Shaco, and the reason for that is Shaco actually does do damage based on attack damage and not magic damage, so he can use the Deathblade better than any of the other carries that I have on my team. Like, he can definitely use it better than... I guess Twitch could use it decently well, but again, Twitch doesn't have an empty spot. And, I mean, it's Twitch, so whatever. So anyway, we're on a 7-match winning streak. I am going to kill the innovators on this board. I don't quite know what that team comp was, but we're going to knock them out. And now it's down to just 2 players, because someone's guaranteed to get knocked out here. And now it's just a 1v1. So, because there's so little time left in the game, I'm going to go to 9, and I'm going to look to start rolling here. And I see Taric, so I'll just put him in. And then I randomly 2-star him, so okay. And then I also find Jace and Yuumi. I was like, can I find Akali, maybe? Could we find Akali, please? And then, oh, there we go, finally. So then I sell Taric, and that's a mistake. I should have just kept him in there, although the extra gold's not bad. Let's see, and now I need to get my items set up. So let's go ahead and see if we can do this. So I'm going to go ahead and put the blue on Akali and the Infinity Edge, and then I need to get the other Infinity Edge on Cat. And there we go. I noticed that the enemy team is like super boxed up in the corner here. Unfortunately, I'm not having great luck at getting onto the Katarina in the backlines, and I think that's because Braum did not get off a very good ult in this fight. By the way, they're also starting to get close to a bunch of 3-stars. So my carries get popped, and this fight actually ends up going poorly, and I end up losing the fight, which is a little sad. I was like, oh, I hope this person doesn't have time to get Vex 3-star, because this person's actually getting pretty close to maxing out their Yordles, but they just like boxed the Trist in the corner, which is the correct way to play against assassins. And now I need to try to see if I can do anything to fix that. So I still got this Jace here, and I decide, I end up removing the Jace to put the Taric in. I don't know if that's better or not. I think one thing I could have done is I could have grabbed the Gallios here. I think I could have taken out, I think I could have just put in Galio. I could have taken out the Janna and put in Galio for, because that would have given me like the huge Galio CC. Like, look how clumped this team is. If I put Galio in here, Galio would knock up the entire enemy team for like 3 or 4 seconds. Alternately, I could have just played Yuumi as well. Yuumi's CC would also have been super nice. But anyway, this fight goes much better. Braum gets off a better ult. We're able to get on the back lines. Akali is doing Akali things, jumping into the back lines, trying to kill people. And although this fight is close, Zyra actually gets the key CC on the Trist. And that's going to be that. A very short game here. Like I said, kind of a weird game. Not the most impressive lobby, in all honesty. A lot of mistakes in this one, for sure. Like, you don't need to tell me in the comments that there were a bunch of mistakes. I'm well aware. I don't play a lot of Assassin team comps, and I've tried to highlight them in this video. But I want to highlight different team comps. So even though this isn't the best played game that I have on footage, I want to showcase some different champions, some different builds, and some different ways to play the game. So hopefully you're learning along with me in this video and can tolerate the fact that this wasn't as good as some others. In any case, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Till next time, have a good one.